Hello everyone, welcome back here. So in this particular part, which is the part number 2, where we are going to discuss about the another term which is used in a flowering plant. So here you can see the first term is the perianth. Perianth is what? When your calyx and the corolla, when your calyx and corolla is not distinguished, right? Or we can't identify either it is calyx or the corolla. Actually, the both things is fused together to form the perianth. Clear? Perianth is what? When we are fail to distinguish between the calyx and corolla, so that the term we use that is the perianth, and the unit of the perianth is the tepal. That is unit of perianth is tepal. Clear? Unit of the perianth is the tepal. Tepal is what? When the calyx and corolla both are fused together and we fail to recognize either it is the calyx and the corolla, so that it is the combination of that two things which is known as the perianth. Clear? Come to the next, that is the symmetry. What is the symmetry? So when you cut the flower, right, in the two half by crossing that center, and if it is failed to show that two half, and if it is not going to divide into the equal part, so we use here the different term to show this all things. So in case of the symmetry, so what we see here, we have the two type of symmetry. One is the actinomorphic, another is the zygomorphic. So we have the two symmetry. One is the actinomorphic, another is the zygomorphic. So in case of the actinomorphic, you have to learn their symbol, and there is the symbol like this only. This is the symbol used for the zygomorphic condition, and this symbol is used for the actinomorphic condition. So whenever flower is going to divide it into the two equal half by passing through the center, we get the equal half. Everywhere we get the equal half. So if you see the structure of that type of flower, so if our flower is like that, the three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more, 6. So if you passing from this direction, what you got? You got the equal symmetry, right? You got the equal symmetry that is given in your NCERT by the picture. You can see your NCERT so that you can get it easily, right? By diagram, that is slightly difficult to mention, but I will try again. From every part, I am just making one. Okay. When you take that one, that center, so or we are going to cut it by the center. So what we got? We got the same half, right? If you cut it from this direction, you got the same half. If you cut it by this direction, you got the same half. So if the plant is going to divide it, right? If the part of the plant is going to cut from the center of the line, and we got the same or equal part, so that is considered as a actinomorphic flower. If it is the zygomorphic, so that one is showing the radial symmetry. Radial symmetry, or we can say the actinomorphic symmetry, right? In case of the zygomorphic, when we are going to cut anything or the flower, and that is not going to give the similar half if you passing from the center, so that it is the zygomorphic flower. So in case of the pea flower, that is slightly impossible to cut it from the if you cut it from center, means if you see that is one center, and if you are going to cut it from one plane, only from one plane, so that we get the double, means the half condition, but not from the another, means from here and here we can't get the same symmetry or the same same uh, part of the flower, right? And in this condition, passing from the center, you can draw the line from here and here and here. What you get? You get the simple, you get the equal half. But here we only take one line to get the equal half. So that what we can say according to the definition, we can easily say that zygomorphic flower, when it is going to cut and it is be divided into the two similar half only in the one particular vertical plane. Means here you can see the only one particular plane, by only one particular plane we can get our divide or the half flower. In this condition, that is according to the definition, when a flower can be divided into the two equal radical half in any radial plane passing through the center. An example is in this case we have the example like the mustard, dhatura and chili. Okay, if you see here example, that is the mustard, dhatura and the chili. And here if you see the example, that is the pea, bean, etc. Clear? So that is about the position, that is about the symmetry, actinomorphic and the zygomorphic. That is showing the zygomorphic condition. And if you see the structure, means like here we have the radial symmetry, so here we have the bilateral symmetry. Okay, that is showing the bilateral symmetry. Come to the next one, that is the epicalyx. What is the epicalyx? So the epicalyx is what? The scaly appendages which is present on the pedicel. Pedicel, that is the part where the thalamus is attached. That is the part which is known as the pedicel. So as you know, we have already one calyx in the calyx is here. Another is what it is saying. The appendages which is present on the pedicel, if the appendages, which type of appendages, that is the scaly appendages which is present below the calyx. Okay, that is scaly appendages which is present below the calyx, or what we say on the pedicel. So that flower is the bracteole, means that the structure which is present here somewhere, that is known as the bracteole, and that is the case of the epicalyx. That is the case of the epicalyx. When it is present on the pedicel, that is known as the bracteole, and the flower which having this type of a structure is known as the bracteolated flower or bracteolated flower. Clear? Now next is the what? That epicalyx is the ring or the roll of the bracteoles, means that is present on the ring-like structure. If you see in the case of hibiscus, hibiscus is the bracteolated flower, right? So they having the calyx, and just below the calyx they have the epicalyx, and that epicalyx is nothing but the scaly appendages which is present on the pedicel, and it is the bracteoles, right? And that is the bracteoles, that is called the epicalyx, and the example is the all the member of the Malvaceae family having the bract or the epicalyx. Clear? Our next point is the based on the position of the calyx, corolla and rosium with respect to the ovary. right? So according to the position, means we have the calyx and corolla and roscium, right? So according to the ovary, if the calyx and corolla and androecium are present below it, so what it is known as above it, then what it is known as, and not below, not above, in between that, then what kind of term we use to define that type of structure. So that we have the three things. One is the hypogynous condition, another is the perigynous condition, and last is the epigynous condition. So we have the three conditions: perigynous condition, then epigynous condition, and then we have one more, that is the perigynous and hypogynous condition. So we have the three structure or the three things which is going to define the position of the calyx and corolla and androecium with respect to the ovary, right? So let's take it as a picture. So you can see here, according to the position of the means according to the androecium, according to the androecium, calyx and corolla, the position of the ovary is the hypogynous, epigynous and the perigynous. So first is the condition which is the hypogynous condition. So I am writing here, that is the condition of the hypogynous. So in the hypogynous condition, the gynoecium is occupied the highest position, and the rest of the things arises from the lower, means lower the ovary, right? Like the calyx and the corolla and roscium, it arises from the lower part of the ovary, from where that pedicel is that from the thalamus you can see, right? So it is look like that everything arises from the thalamus, so that we can say the gynoecium is occupying the highest position in case of the hypogynous condition. And here the ovary, if it is present on the highest position, so that type of ovary is known as the superior ovary, right? So that type of ovary is known as the superior ovary, and here you can see the example is the rose, mustard and the brinjal, right? That is the gynoecium occupies that highest position, so that the ovary is the superior, right? Ovary is the superior. Example, you can see the rose, mustard and the brinjal. Next is what? Next is the perigynous condition. So this is what the perigynous condition. Perigynous condition. So in the perigynous condition, the gynoecium situated in the center, right? The gynoecium is situated at the center, where the things means that all the rest of the part is just grow from that in between that ovary. This the position is in between that ovary. If you see here, what I want to explain you can see that is the part of the thalamus, right? So thalamus is that ovary is situated deep the thalamus, not fully deep. That from half deep the thalamus, and the things which arises here, you can see that is the reams. From the reams of the thalamus, the calyx and corolla and your androecium is going to arise. So that type of ovary is nothing but the half superior ovary. Either we can say the next term half superior and the half inferior. We can use that both terms together, half superior and the half inferior. So here the condition of the ovary is the half superior, okay? Half superior ovary is present here. Next example, if you can see, that palm and rose and peach, that is the example of the perigynous condition of the flower. Next condition is the epigynous. In case of the epigynous, the margin of the thalamus is grow upward. You can see that margin of the thalamus is grow upward and enclose the ovary fully. Completely they enclose the ovary. You can see they completely enclose the ovary and getting fused with it. Okay? Or that thalamus is getting fused with the ovary. Means they are just going to complete cover the ovary. And the rest of the floral part like the androecium, calyx, corolla, that is arising from the upper part. Means here, you can see here from the highest, means here what you see, the gynoecium occupied the highest position and here the gynoecium occupied the lowest position. And rest of the things is arises above the gynoecium part. So that ovary is the inferior ovary. Clear? So the ovary is the inferior one and the example is the guava, cucumber and the very important things that is the ray floret of the sunflower. The inflorescence of the sunflower itself is the head and capitulum. Head and capitulum. That is the name of that inflorescence. And that head and capitulum both are present in the flower only. So what you see in the sunflower, that middle one, brownish part is nothing but the disfloret, right? And the yellow part, what you see, that outside, that is the ray floret. So the ray floret show the epigynous condition. So what you see, that sunflower is not a flower actually. Actually sunflower is the inflorescence. It having the lots of the flower in it. So if you see in the center, they having the flower. And that flower is having the disfloret condition. And that yellow part you see that is surrounded by that ray floret. Means that middle one part is surrounded by the ray floret, right? So that surrounded one, which is the ray floret, that show the epigynous condition and whole the inflorescence is the head and capitulum inflorescence. Clear? So that is all about your condition or the position of the ovary according to the term hypo, peri and epigynous. So the example is very important. Next we will take that parts of the flower, right? Parts of the flower and what things or the term which is used here, we will take that all term in that particular video, right? So be connected with me. Wait for a minute. So in this part you can see parts of the flower. We have the flower axis and the name of that flower axis is the pedicel and the thalamus. As you know, that is the part of the thalamus and thalamus is joined with the pedicel. Clear? So this is the pedicel part and this is the thalamus part. Clear? Flower having the calyx, which is also known as the sepals, corolla, that is the petal. That is the units of the calyx and corolla. And when both are not identified, means they are fused together and it is hard to identify the things or the structure, so that it is known as the perianth. And the unit of perianth is the tepal. Clear? And androecium, you know, androecium is what the male part and the gynoecium is the female part of the plant. Some technical term here which is very important to understand if you are studying this chapter or according to the morphology. So if the flower is complete, means all parts of flower is present. If the flower is incomplete, that means any of part is going to absent. If the flower is bisexual, that means male and female both are present in the one plant or in one flower. If they are the unisexual, means male are present or situated in the different part, means a different plant, and female is in different plant. Monoecious means it's same, male and female both are present together, and in dioecious, that is male and female present on the different part of plant. Polygamous plant, that is example if you see the mango. It means that bisexual flower is present and bisexual and the unisexual. Means that if you see that flower of the mango, that mango flower having the bisexual means that one flower having the both male and female, and the another flower is the staminate flower, and another flower is the pistillated. Means they having the both things, unisexual flower as well as the bisexual flower, right? So that condition is known as polygamous condition, or that type of plant which having that type of flower is known as polygamous plant. Monocarpic means that flowering is the one time, means one time they are going to flowering and give the fruit. One time flowering and give the fruit, and after giving the fruit they are going to die. Example is the bamboo plant. Clear? Cauliflory means they do the flowering, means every season they do the flowering. Okay, so the cauliflory means from the old bud. Flowering occur from the old buds. From the old buds, flowering is going to occur. That is the cauliflowering, right? Actinomorphic condition, zygomorphic condition. You know actinomorphic, that condition from where we just cut or divide the flower by using the vertical and horizontal plane. We got the equal half, or that is also known as the radial symmetry. And in case of the zygonomorphic, that is known as the bilateral symmetry. Means from the center, or if you cut the flower, divide the flower from that vertically, then only you got the two equal half. Otherwise, if you going to cut it from this direction and this direction, you are not getting the good result or the main result. Clear? So that is the very technical point which is in the NCERT. It is written in the NCERT. So in the next part we will see the next one thing. Till then, what you have to do? You have to read all the things clearly and underline the main topic or the main point, which is also written in the NCERT as well. I am also taking here also, right? Means here also I am just taking this important line. So in this particular chapter you have to learn the things, right, which is very important as an examination point of view also, because the things is going to change. Means that syllabus is not going to change, but the way of the examines, that pattern, question pattern is going to change, right? So you have to prepare yourself according to the pattern. So we will discuss the pattern also sometime, means in another video. Right now it is not important to discuss here. Firstly, our target to complete the syllabus first, means according to your unit first syllabus. So that one unit should be completed as soon as possible. So see you in the next video. Enjoy your learning and keep watching the videos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.